My beloved child, as you walk through life, I want you to hear this truth. My grace is sufficient for you. Whatever you are facing, whatever weighs on your heart, I am here to tell you that my grace is enough. You may feel overwhelmed, you may feel weak, but I am strong. And in my strength, you will find everything you need. From the moment you wake up in the morning to the time you lay your head to rest, I am with you, and my grace covers you. In this world, you will face struggles, trials, and moments of doubt. But take heart, my child, for my grace sustains you. You do not walk this path alone. I see every tear you cry, every worry that fills your mind, and I am here to remind you that nothing is too great for my grace. My grace is greater than your fear, greater than your sorrow, and greater than any challenge that comes your way. I know there are times when you feel like you are not enough. You may wonder if you have the strength to carry on, or if you are worthy of my love. But I want you to know this, my precious child. My grace is not dependent on your strength or your worthiness. My grace is a gift freely given. Because I love you, you don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove yourself to receive it. You simply have to trust in me and rest in the truth that my grace is always enough. When you feel weak, my grace is your strength. When you feel broken, my grace is your healing. When you feel lost, my grace is your guide. No matter where you are or what you are going through, my grace will meet you there. It is not just enough for some days. It is enough for every day. It is enough in your moments of joy, and it is enough in your moments of pain. I know the road you are walking may feel difficult right now. I know there are moments when the weight of the world feels heavy on your shoulders. But my grace is there to lift you up. You do not have to carry this burden alone. My grace is the strength that will sustain you, even in the darkest of times. When you feel like giving up, remember that my grace is holding you. You may feel like the challenges you face are too much to handle. You may wonder if you have what it takes to keep going. But my child, I want you to know that my grace is sufficient even for this. Whatever this is in your life right now, I am greater. My grace is greater. There is nothing too big for me to handle. And I am walking with you every step of the way. When you feel like you've made mistakes, when you feel like you've fallen short, remember that my grace is bigger than your failures. My grace covers your past, your present, and your future. There is nothing you can do that can separate you from my love. My grace is always there to forgive, to restore, and to renew. You are never too far from me for my grace to reach you. I know that sometimes you struggle with feeling like you have to do everything on your own. You may feel like you have to be strong, to have all the answers, to hold everything together. But I want you to know that you don't have to carry that burden. My grace is sufficient for you. It is okay to rest in my presence. It is okay to trust that I am working on your behalf. My grace is the power that works through you, even when you don't see it. The truth is, my child, that in your weakness, my power is made perfect. When you feel weak, that is when my strength shines brightest in your life. You don't have to be afraid of your weakness, for it is in those moments that I am working most powerfully in you. My grace is not just enough to get you through. It is more than enough. It is abundant, overflowing, and it will carry you through every trial. You may feel like you are not where you want to be. You may look at your life and wonder if you are measuring up. But I want to remind you that my grace is not based on your performance. It is not about what you have or haven't done. It is about who I am, and I am your God. I am your Father, and I delight in you. My grace is sufficient for you, because I am sufficient. When you feel overwhelmed by life's demands, when you feel like there is too much to do and not enough time or energy, I want you to pause and rest in me. I want you to remember that my grace is sufficient for you. You don't have to strive to earn my love or my favor. I am with you, and I am for you. My grace is what gives you the strength to keep going, even when you feel like you can't. There will be days when you feel like you are barely holding on, but my grace will never let you go. My grace is the foundation beneath your feet, the wind beneath your wings, and the peace that calms your heart. You can rest in the assurance that no matter what happens, I am with you, and my grace will carry you through. When you look at the challenges before you, don't be discouraged. Remember that I am with you, and I am greater than any obstacle you face. My grace is sufficient for every situation, every need, and every trial. You are not walking this path alone, for I am with you every step of the way. In those moments when you feel like you are falling short, when you feel like you are not enough, I want you to hear my voice reminding you that my grace is enough. You are not defined by your failures, your weaknesses, or your struggles. You are defined by my love for you. You are my child, and my grace is always sufficient for you. When you feel like you don't have the strength to take another step, lean on me. My grace will give you the strength you need. When you feel like the storm is too fierce, remember that I am the one who calms the storms. My grace will see you through to the other side. No matter how fierce the storm may seem, it cannot overwhelm my grace. I know that life can be overwhelming at times. I know that you may feel like you are carrying too much. But my child, you are not alone in this. I am carrying you. My grace is what lifts you up when you feel like you are sinking. My grace is what gives you hope when all seems lost. My grace is what keeps you going, even when you feel like giving up. There will be times when you don't understand why things are happening the way they are. But I want you to trust that my grace is enough. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to trust that I am with you and that my grace is working in your life, even when you can't see it. My grace is a gift, freely given because I love you. You don't have to earn it, and you don't have to deserve it. You just have to receive it. You just have to rest in the knowledge that my grace is sufficient for you. When you feel like you are not enough, my grace says, you are loved. You are enough because I am enough. I want you to walk in the confidence of knowing that my grace will never fail you. It is unchanging, unfailing, and it is always with you. No matter what comes your way, my grace will sustain you. My grace will give you the strength to keep moving forward, to keep trusting, to keep hoping, and to keep believing. When you feel like you've reached the end of your rope, remember that my grace is your lifeline. It is what holds you steady when everything else feels uncertain. You don't have to do this alone, for I am with you, and my grace is sufficient. My child, my love for you is everlasting, and my grace is a reflection of that love. It is boundless, endless, and always enough. So rest in me, trust in me, and know that my grace is sufficient for you today, tomorrow, and always. You are held in the arms of my grace, and I will never let you go.